we end up going in there to meet Barry Wise, you know, and we end up finding out that Pharrell ended up signing the deal with Interscope. So when he signed the deal with Interscope, he basically signed us away, Cleese, you know, and the Clipse. So Barry was saying, yeah, so you know, we don't want to let y'all go because he was looking at it like, as long as I got y'all, Pharrell is going to produce y'all anyway. So, but the guys, was like, well, just let us go and let us, because we was trying to go get a new deal. But he looked at it like, well, we end up giving y'all money already because they already had gave us a check. So we locked in. So the guys was upset, and so that's when litigations and stuff started, and we was suing Jive and telling them we wouldn't give him no album, and Barry and Pharrell was in this pissing contest, and Pharrell told him, "Well, I'm not working with Justin Timberlake no more." And so Barry ended up going to get Timberland. That's when you end up hearing Timberland on all Justin stuff. Um, so it turned bad. Um, it turned bad, but when the guys really found out that Pharrell shipped them away, that's you know, when it kind of was bad blood, but at the time we were still talking to Pharrell every day, like, hey, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? So now he's trying to fight to go ahead and get us back. So what ended up happening was, I ended up talking to the guys and they was like, man, what we gonna do? So me and a guy by the name of Tony Draper, me and Draper had a good relationship. So I ended up calling Draper, talking to Draper, and telling Draper the situation, what's going on, and he was telling me, "Yeah, man, I know Barry Wise real good. Maybe I can go and set some up and see if he'll let y'all go." So I went back to the guys, and they was like, "Yeah, tell him to see if he can do that." So Tony goes, he come back and say, "Man, Tony, tell you he don't really want to let y'all go. You got to understand that they are like a big label. Like they'll sit all day, but they got other artists. They still making money. Pharrell still making money. The guys ain't making no money. So like, but Barry said he'll cut y'all another check and let's go ahead and put this album out. So I go back to the guys and say, hey, they said they'll cut you another check. So so they were like, all right, cool. So we start the litigations. They end up signing, getting us another check. And so now they got to work on this album. But now Draper's like, I tell Drake with him doing that, I let him partner up with me. I give him 10% of the management, and he can help me manage the guys.
Okay, so that's the Hell Hath No Fury album. All right, but during this time, not a lot of money's being made.
Yeah, I was also in charge of booking shows. Not only I ended up learning that game because in Virginia I used to do a lot of rap shows in Virginia, bringing it to the Nova and different places. So and then I had a nightclub. Well, actually, I had a nightclub then, but I end up taking over all the booking. So I'm booking shows everywhere, different states, and they tell me, "Yo, we need some more shows. We need some more shows." But now I'm telling them, "Listen, we can't keep going back to the same places. Like, we ain't got no song on the radio, but I'm doing the best I can." So, it ended up drying up. So we were waiting on the album to be complete, which was taking a long time with because now it was the thing of they going to different producers trying to reach out, and Pharrell's busy, so so it was taking way longer than expected. So that's when I had a lot of free time on my hands.
As you're waiting to, for the Clipse to put together Hell Hath No Fury, you decided to hop back in the streets again.
Um, yeah, but it ain't come like that. It was like because I'm talking about like 2 years. Did they have an album out or while they was recording the album? It took like 2 years. Like it was taking so long that Draper came to me and said, "Hey, like I don't want nothing to do with it no more because Barry was waiting on the album and they kept putting him under pressure and Drake was like, "Yo, y'all just go ahead. I'm out." Um, so he ended up leaving, but what happened? How I ended up hopping back in because like I said, it dried up. So I said, "Man, I got to go back to is what I know. But it ended up coming because we was on tour like right before all this, and I ended up running across a guy named Low, and he came to me and he was like, "Hey man, anytime you want to go, y'all want to go on tour, I got a tour bus that y'all can just use." So I said, "Well, why would you just let us just use the tour bus?" And he was like, "No, well actually I rent y'all a bus, but then I want to have a bus to travel in back of y'all." So I said, "Well, why you want to do that? You just want to just be on tour with us?" And he was like, "Nah." He said, "Well, actually," he said, "I got a couple of connections and I'm gonna be moving work inside one of the buses." So I said, "Well, no, I like we can't do that because if you get knocked, it's gonna come back on the guy. So I don't want to do that." So I said, so he was like, all right, cool. But what he ended up doing was getting in the ear of some of my cousins and who I had out there on the road with us. And so they used to come to me and be like, "Yo, man, the guy Low said, he got to work for the Low and it's a drought back in Virginia and he can get it to us, but he just needs you to co-sign it." So first I wasn't with it, but then I said, all right, I'll go ahead and co-sign it because he wanted me to co-sign because he feels something happened to the work, then I can pay for it. So he ended up getting with them, bringing work down to Virginia, and me and him ended up getting cool. But that had nothing to do with the work at the time. So end up me and him got so cool, I started going to Atlanta. Me and him ended up getting another crib in Atlanta together, and you know, he ended up coming to me one day saying, "I got 20 keys, but with these 20 keys, I at least need the money up front for 10." So I called my cousins and them like, "Yo, this is what he need." But my cousins them was like, "Man, we don't got no 10, to put up that money for that." So I'm like, "All right, well, you know what I do? I'll put the money up." I said, "I'll put the money up, but I'm gonna charge on the work now because stuff is slow for me, so I'm just gonna charge on the work." So end up a couple months pass, and we end up I end up booking a show at a club called Bed in New York. And so I remember me and the guys all hop in the excursion. We going to do the show, club called Bed. Um, and a guy named Lava, he gets a call. He gets a call to say that the Clipse manager and them was getting ready to go do a show at Bed, and the Clipse manager owe the Mexicans some money for 20 keys. So I'm like, huh? So now everybody in the truck looking at me like, what you hustling again? But I'm like, I don't owe no Mexicans because the guy Low is a black guy. So I remember getting to the club Bed, and I see this guy. He come up to me. He like, "Yo, son, you Jeezy?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he like, "Do you know Low?" So I'm like, "Oh, Low." I'm like, "Yeah, but I ain't seen Low." And he said, "Well, you need to call the dude Pipe because the dude Pipe say that the guy Low end up giving you 20 keys and you on." So the next day we goes to Clinton Sparks show, and I called the guy Pipe, and I'm talking to Pipe, and he tells me, "Hey, we got a situation going on. Somebody owe for this, somebody owe for that. So you need to come out to Phoenix so to answer these questions."